In this video, I'm going to be discussing the fact that there is no reward in goodness. And when I talk about somebody being a quote unquote good person, I mean they're trying to play by the rules and follow the right procedure rather than take a shortcut. I'm sure you've heard the story of Sophie Rain. And Sophie Rain says that between last Thanksgiving and this one, she has earned, wait for it, $43 million in between that time. That's insane. The concept of hard work is lost now. I'm looking at lawyers, they're turning to OnlyFans as well. Teachers have earned what I used to earn in a year, in a month. What does that tell you? That there's a market, there's money to be made. These women are catering to a demand. If there was no demand, then there would be no point to sell whatever it is they're selling. They're making sure that they're cashing in. What's the point in me struggling, going to school, getting a degree after 4 years, and then I can barely get a job? And then when I do get a job, it is barely above minimum wage. I am barely surviving. I'm barely living. I have no time for social interaction. I have no social life. I'm drowning in work and I still cannot manage to live. Right now, people are working 3 jobs just to survive. Let me just go online, get an OnlyFans account, and then get 40K every single month. And when I do the calculation of 40K every single month for 2 to 3 years, that's some good coin. Dignity is not going to pay my bills. Respect is not going to pay my bills. None of those things are going to help me in the real world. What's going to help me is that money. So people are doing whatever it takes to live, and I understand fully where they're coming from. On that same moral issue, I'm looking at side chicks, infidelity. The fact that side chicks now are getting majority benefits. They don't have to carry the emotional load of relationships. They don't have to do much. You're kind of given this house, this car, whatever it is, whatever the agreement is between you and that husband, and then you get a nice check. You get a bag. Somebody to take care of you. So I can see why women would decide to do these kinds of things, even though I don't endorse that at all. What does being a good wife or a good girl get you? You don't get rewarded for it, and most of the time you get overlooked, because apparently we live in a time where if you're too much of quote unquote a good person, it's too much for everybody. They're wondering, why is somebody like you existing in a world like this one? How is it possible that you're even real? Some things feel like they're too good to be true. Promiscuity is rewarded. I was watching an episode of Cut and they were on a date with the button. The girl asked the guy, how many people have you been with? The guy said, just one. And she was like, no, 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 no. I'm not going to be the one to train you. I'm not going to be the one to teach you how to be good and bad. But how do you get good and bad? You get good by practicing most of the time with one person consistently, not because you slept with 100 people. I'm seeing people talking about the fact that they've slept with 100 people, 150, 200. You want to tell me you are carrying the soul tie of 200 people who are working on this earth? That's crazy. And I'm not here to slut shame. I'm not here to tell you that what you're doing is wrong. It is your body after all. But all those spirits inside of one person, nothing good can come from that. The more promiscuous you are, the more you attract more people. That's just a fact of life, because we are functioning now in a world that is low vibrational. Nobody wants to go above and beyond for anybody. Nobody wants to risk it. Frankly speaking, nobody sees the use of it. People now associate dating with sex. We cannot go on a date if it's not going to lead with both of us going to a bedroom. There is no way we could ever get to know each other, find things in common, interact. No, because that is too boring for the world that we live in right now. The more bodies you have, apparently, the better it is for you, and actually, the higher chances of finding a partner. Because now people look at virginity as ew, that's icky. Why are you not sleeping with anybody? You're looked at as a strange person. Nowadays, you get punished for being honest. You get punished for realness. I see you guys complaining online, talking about, I need somebody to be real. I need you guys to be honest. But all of a sudden, you're hit with the realness and it's too much. It's too much real now. So you need to have a balance of the lies and the realness. This extends also to jobs. You have to lie on your resume. You have no choice. If you're honest, if you say, hey, I left the last job because it was a toxic work environment, you're looked at as, oh, so you're not a team player. So you're going to be a problem. When you demand your rights, you're looked at as, how dare you? You should be grateful. You should be thankful for these scraps that I'm giving you. You should be thankful for the bare minimum. And how dare you ask me to level up? You're the one in need. You're the one who needs me. I don't need you. Of course, people have no choice but to be on demon time. I have no choice but to act in a certain way in order for me to even have a level playing field, in order for me to compete. Look at also who rules the world. It's people who rhyme with dusk. It's people who rhyme with mates. It's people who rhyme with Huckabag You know what I'm trying to say. Show me an ethical billionaire and I'll show you pigs that fly. It just doesn't exist. It's not a real concept. In order for you to get to the top, you need to step on a few toes. You need to do the most nefarious things because it's just not possible to get to that kind of level by living by rules. You have to break those rules in order to get ahead. You think that people become billionaires with a B by being good people, by not oppressing those who are poor in society? Of course not. The good people are of the opinion that I also live in the world and I have to compete with these billionaires. We're not even on the same level playing field. It's not even a fair game, but I have no choice. Now I'm forced to do what I have to do in order to survive. That makes poor people have no choice but to engage in illegal behavior, to get into drugs, to sell what they need to sell in order to make a living. Then, when they get caught, they go straight to jail. They have no money and no powerful lawyer to rescue them. Meanwhile, if a powerful person gets arrested for fraud or whatever, he can always buy himself out of jail. I saw a quote the other day that really hurt my feelings, and it said, "Sometimes you are suffering for the sake of suffering. There is no higher purpose. There is no reason." You know how we like to comfort ourselves and say, "Oh, there's a reason behind what I'm going through. There's a reason why these things are happening to me." No, sometimes you're just suffering for the hell of it. I am so happy with what is happening in the Hollywood entertainment scene. I'm happy that these predators who have been oppressing others for so long are going through their downfalls. But look at the trail of destruction that they have left behind. Look at the number of people they've hurt, and these are scars that are going to be there for a lifetime. These are traumas that are going to be carried on from one generation to the next. Look how long it took. This did not happen in a day, in a month, in a year. This happened after decades of this kind of nonsense going on. And in that time, so much damage has been done. Some of these victims have been silenced, and you know what I mean by silenced. Some of them did not even get to live to see justice being served, which is so sad. It's very easy to feel like things are not fair, and it used to happen to me where I would feel angry and resentful because I felt like someone did things overnight or came out of nowhere. Unfortunately, all this does is cause you misery and heartache. The thing is this: when somebody's time has come, it has come. There's nothing you can do about that. Favor is not something that can be passed on just like that. You either have it or you don't. When somebody's moment has come, whether you think they're not the most talented, the cutest, the hottest, whatever it is, it doesn't really matter because their time is now. Why are you quote unquote being good? Is it because you feel obligated that you have to be good? Is it because of your religious background, certain belief systems that you grew up with, or because you think it earns you brownie points or rewards? I used to think that you follow a certain procedure and then you get this big reward at the end. I'm here to tell you that's not true. I encourage you to live authentically and do the best you can because at the end of the day, that's all we can do. Until next time.